What's up?
Yeah, y'all should check him out. He got good energy.
So if you haven't seen it by now, there's a video that I posted showing the day that I dropped off the inventory for this incredible masterpiece right here. Heavy is the Head. Shouts out to Sankofa. Again, if you have the opportunity to stop by, ask them for Heavy is the Head. And if they don't have it in stock, tell them you want it in stock. Tell them to let me know to, restock. So I appreciate everybody who's had a hand in helping me create this book. For those who don't know, the cover was created by a brother of mine, Marwan Shaheen. He's an Egyptian artist, and he's based out of Los Angeles, California right now, doing his thing in the art world. Check out his artwork. It's amazing, to say the least. He does murals. He does his own art. He's doing NFT work. He's doing an amazing job at everything he does, but I really appreciate him for taking the time to create this masterpiece for me. How it was created, the story behind that is basically I connected with him when I was deployed. I sent him the manuscript for the book for Heavy is the Head. I had created a cover myself, but I wanted to kind of go in a different direction with it, which is why you see it's this size and it's a hardcover. So I wanted him to create what was essentially known as an art book, right? Like art books are typically in this format. And I wanted it to be much more. I wanted this to be much more than just a poetry book. I wanted it to be literally a work of art, right? So from the front cover to the back cover, I wanted it to be artwork. And that's what it turned out to be. And I appreciate that. To everyone who's purchased a copy already, I appreciate you wholeheartedly. To everyone who will purchase a copy in the future, I appreciate you in advance. So this project, along with my first book, Conversations in the Mirror on a Ladder, which you can find on Amazon.com. So both projects are temples and castles erected on the foundation of heartbreak. I've never really spoke in depth or at length about the book itself because I wanted people to really read it and kind of get their own idea of what each word and poem means to them. I wanted people to interpret it in their own way. So people who know me know that I'm very big into journaling. I found out how to really heal in that way. Like I figured out that although I've been writing poetry for a long time, journaling and poetry was the light through my times of darkness. Like it actually helped me to heal, which is why my first book is entitled Conversations in the Mirror on a Ladder. The reason why it's entitled that is because the best way that I found to heal is to really face the man in the mirror. That's how you attain self-accountability, is to look that person in the eyes, in the mirror, and face the good, bad, and the ugly. Because a lot of times we don't want to see the ugly side of ourselves. We don't want to acknowledge that we have some work to do, that we have some growth to do. But I had to take that leap. I had to take that stand in front of the mirror and look at myself and say, hey, man, look, it's you. Like we have this thing where we blame everybody else and everything else around us if things aren't going right. We also give praise to everything and everyone around us when things are going right. But I had to take that stand and look at myself in the mirror and say, hey, man, accountability is you. And then I had to figure out how to heal, how to grow, how to keep climbing. That's where the ladder comes in, because in life, it's all about ascension. It's all about climbing that ladder. And so when you merge those things together, you have a conversation in the mirror, which is getting that one-on-one time for accountability with yourself. And then you're on the ladder while you're doing it, right? So you're on the ladder, still climbing. You continue to climb, you continue to get better, you continue to become the best version of yourself while having that one-on-one with yourself and getting that self-accountability piece in order. And so that's what I did. Conversations in the Mirror on a Ladder. That was really sparked by a lot of unresolved issues that I had from not properly grieving from my mother's passing when I was 8 years old. So I had been carrying that pain for a long time. I've been carrying that hurt. And then, the old cliche saying that it's not so cliche to me because I know it's real, that hurt people. And so a lot of the hurt that I was putting out, that energy that I was putting out, that negative energy that I was putting out, I was getting that negative energy back. But instead of acknowledging that I was emitting that negative energy that I was getting back, I would blame other people. I would blame other things. I would blame outside sources for the negativity that was coming my way, when in reality, it was because of me. And so the sooner we acknowledge that, the sooner we look ourselves in the mirror and we come to terms with the fact that we have to keep that energy balanced. Self-love. I learned how to balance myself in my religious views, my spirituality. I learned how to balance myself in my professional life. I learned how to balance myself in my personal relationships. I learned how to balance myself in everything. And I'm not there yet. I'm not at the apex, right? But I'm a work in progress. I'm still climbing that ladder, and I'm still having conversations in the mirror. And so having those conversations in the mirror allow me to understand who I am. And it's a journey. It's a journey. And so on that journey, I found myself understanding who I am, understanding that I'm a leader. And when you're a leader, what they say, with great power comes great responsibility. And so because of that, heavy is the head. And I had to look at myself in the mirror, understand that I am a leader of many people, including myself. I've made people, little people, and I'm their leader. And so they expect things from me that I had to learn how to expect from myself. Right? As their dad, they don't look at me and see my flaws. That can be heavy, though. That could be a heavy load to carry. At work, I'm somebody's supervisor. I'm in charge of somebody's career, in a sense. At least guiding them, right? I'm in charge of their career. Even in other, if you're in the military, you know what I'm talking about. When you're in that supervisory role, that can be a whole heavy load to bear. When you're in a relationship, that's a heavy load to bear. Right? So heavy is the head. And my way of dealing with those feelings, that anxiety, the depression, the pressure, all of the feelings associated with carrying that heavy load, with being a leader, I got them out in this book. The pressures of navigating the society that we live in. I know many can relate, some can't. But empathy is free. And that's what we aspire to be. We all aspire to be free. And so I examine that notion. I examine that idea that freedom isn't free. But sometimes I feel like neither are we. It's freedom with contingencies. Freedom. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand and I acknowledge that we have freedom, right? We have certain freedoms. But what is true freedom? And I guess that's kind of subjective to the person, right? That's subjective. And I deal with my internal emotions, my internal thoughts, and I put them on paper. See, journaling is important. I tell everybody, journal, get your feelings out. Don't compartmentalize them, get them out. And so sometimes when I write, it's sort of in that Moesha type of way, right? That Moesha, Dear Diary. You know what I'm talking about, like that Dear Diary. Today I did it. Sometimes it's in that regard, but most of the times I write in my phone. I have an app that I write in my phone. That's how the first two books came about. I would just write in my phone. It was therapy for me. It was therapy sessions before this therapy sessions. And so it was a means for me to vent and get all of my emotions out. So that way I don't compartmentalize them and then emit that negative energy onto somebody else. I was able to get it out, deal with it, look at myself in the mirror, keep climbing, and then acknowledge that heavy is the head And with great power comes great responsibility. And then I find that Zen-like state and I understand who I am and keep climbing. And I keep climbing. And so now I'm in the swing of really pushing this book. I'm sorry, in the swing of pushing this artwork. I'm not going to call it a book most of the times. You'll hear me calling it artwork. I'm in the midst of pushing this artwork. A lot of people ask me if there's another book in the works. Am I writing another book? I appreciate you guys for your support. I appreciate you for tuning in to therapy sessions with Rod Naylor Jr. I appreciate you supporting the apparel. I appreciate you guys for supporting the books. Again, Heavy is the Head and Conversations in the Mirror on the Ladder. You can grab Conversations in the Mirror on the Ladder at Amazon.com. You can grab Heavy is the Head at RodNaylorJr.com. Also now at Sankofa Books in Washington, D.C. So with all of that said, I just want to urge everybody to walk in your purpose. Make sure you journal. Make sure you journal. Get those feelings out on paper. Put those feelings to parchment, man. Look, it'll really benefit you. Watch how your life improves when you do that. Journal, drink water, and mind your business. Love y'all. Peace.